Hey, I'm Matt.
And I'm Skye from Sumo Cyco, and you're listening to Rhino Radio.
Subscribe.
Or of Rhino Radio, and I'm very excited today because through the magic of the internet, I'm reunited after more than a year with Skye and Matt of Sumo Cyco. How are you guys doing today?
Hello. We're doing good. How are
Good to
you?
see you.
I'm very good, although talking to you today just reminded me that 2020 just did not happen. We spoke just before 2020 started. I think you had a tour just before Christmas. You came to Birmingham, and then you went away, and we all went into lockdown. And I think 2020 was the first year that we did not meet by a stage. We did not ask each other weird questions, exchange some gummy bears. And now it's
Yeah, it's been a weird
2021.
year.
No hummus.
No hummus, yeah, no burps on stage.
Yeah, it's been an odd year, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what to say about that one,
Yeah.
except for that it's
The
just
year
been
that never
whack.
happened.
It's been,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of ups and downs because of it. So even trying to make the record work it's been an interesting one.
Yeah.
It's like I could elaborate and just keep going and going, but I just am so tired of COVID right now. I just want to put this pen through my forehead, call it a day sometimes.
But now you're back with great news. Initiation, your third album is out May 7th, which is tomorrow, technically. And I think, first of all, I've enjoyed it. I got a quick early listen over the last couple of days. And on one hand, it was different when I just started listening to it. But then the second and third listen, that's you guys. That's just more of everything I love about the previous albums. I gotta say that MIA is such a great tune. Made me feel like I'm under an eucalyptus tree in Jamaica or Australia. Some great vibes. So I love it. Cannot wait for the world to enjoy it as well. And obviously you being on a stage rocking it. But I gotta ask, for me, Sumo Cyco was like the highlight of a DIY band. You toured a lot. You were in the UK, I think more than you were in Canada. Great videos, great sounds, great productions, great collaborations with other musicians. All of a sudden, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I was a bit surprised. You got signed to Napalm Records. So I got to ask, what changed?
Well, it wasn't all of a sudden either. We did for 10 years, remember, almost before we decided to sign. Do you mind if I
go
feel
for
that?
it.
I just like in my head, it's like, we're still pretty independent band. Like that's the real case. I think people misinformed or a bit misinformed about record labels like Napalm Records. There's like 3 major labels out there, and then there's a lot of independent labels out there still. Like Napalm is got lots of good bands on it and it's pushing there, but it's not throwing out tons of cash left, right, center. But I will say this, we talked after the past couple of years, especially some of the heavy tour schedules we were starting to get into, we started getting more labels talking to us. And it's still a DIY strategic move that what we've made, because we said no to most of those labels because all the deals were terrible deals that were coming in. They're all what I call just shit and jokes, trying to sign your life away for nothing. Napalm's the only label that came to us and said, we absolutely adore everything you're doing. They've seen us live 3 times. They saw us on the last tour with Ginger, and they really did see how well New York responded to our live show. And they just came out and they said, whatever you want, however you want to do it, however this deal has to go, we want you. And so we got the deal we wanted, exactly how we wanted it. And so, you can walk away and be in a really good place still.
I think the other big thing is that Napalm never tried to change anything about our music or
That's
our
what
videos.
I mean. Like, there's no
like literally they had like send us when you're done. Like that was the only instructions.
Our music
to us,
videos, we don't get any. We don't have to show them the treatments. There's nothing. They're literally they just do what you do. And that's a really good thing because we didn't want to have any kind of control over us. So that was our main reason always staying away. But remember, we're trying to scale. We're always trying to scale. Like that's the way a band survives. So we've done 10 years and we're successfully touring all over these places. And we watch our numbers grow to this. And we sat down with our manager and went, we want to scale more. And he went, hey, this is how we have to do it, is find a good deal that works for you guys, works for them, and that way we can try to meet more people. And it is true. That's one thing we know is, our YouTube channel, we have, 25,000 subscribers or something. They have 1.6 million or something. It just comes down to that we could scale a little faster and meet new people. It's been interesting actually too. It's like testing the waters a little bit.
Well, I've been following you, as we already know, for a couple of years, and I'm really excited about the future. As I said, I've started listening to the album already, and unless it's going to expose me to kind of zone out when I listen to your music because it just takes me to cloud nine. But can I say that the new album, for the first time, has a little bit of electronic sounds in it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the other albums too. If you listen, it's just this one I probably went harder than I did on the first two albums. And it's mainly just because I'm influenced by stuff like that right now. Like I'm in love with a couple bands that just have used more of that stuff that I have always used a bit, but just like has made me push it harder, or like, more predominant, I guess.
And again, I'm going to try and not expose myself too much because, again, sometimes I listen to something and I hear whatever I want to hear. But Bystander, okay, I know that usually you touch on the personal side, on kind of the helplessness of feeling during lockdown, maybe even about sedated with the world going outside. But can I ask if you're going a bit more political? I mean, 2020 made everyone a bit more political. So can I say that Bystander is maybe the jump into more political water for Sumo Cyco?
I don't know. I mean, Bystander to me is definitely just about the frustration of feeling like my life is literally time still passing and I can't do the things that I would like to do, and just that feeling of complete frustration. But yeah, I don't recall in that song specifically trying to like have any type of political message, more so than just like my own experience of hating, the fact that I feel helpless, in amongst all this.
I think you sort of forgot though. I think there was there's like a little bit behind it. Like, we're just not the kind of band that wants to be shoving politics down people's throats. But I think in every video that Skye does, there's these underlying things that you can atone to something. Like, you can attach it to, thoughts and creativity behind it. So like when you look at like the spiders and the explosions out the windows, we had the American presidential election going on at the time. We had Black Lives Matter going on at the time. We had a bunch of things going on at the time. And we talked, I remember sitting going like, we should do something about this and we should do something about that. And we were like, Cyco City is a little different place. And we were like, we just came up with an idea that makes us feel like what we were dealing with that, during that kind of place.
I think maybe, or if you're hearing like, for instance, of feeling helpless that I like couldn't do anything about those issues, that's completely true, because I did feel like locked in my house.
Yeah,
and you feel helpless in a situation where you're watching the news and you're like, how do I help change this world for the better when there's huge issues going on, huge massive scale issues with tons of people involved and tons of things, and it is a feeling of helplessness, not only feeling isolated, but a helplessness of that I can't help in the way that I'd love to.
The government doesn't know how to deal with the situation, like it was so as much as it's not political, I guess there's undertones there of how we did it.
But then at the same time is like trying not to be a bystander and watch it all go by and not like speak up and say things, and I think that maybe factored in a bit of like Black Lives Matter movement of feeling like I felt like you're a bystander watching these things happen and you're feeling like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to just be idle, standing by watching, all these things happen in the world and not try to say something. And
yeah, that was,
I think that you could also infer that too, because that was going around the same time that I was writing that song.
And about that kind of feeling of helplessness, I was looking at your online shop, and apparently whoever designed the new shirts doesn't like you, Skye, because they put you in front of a bear and a shark and a tiger. So is there some sort of a revenge motif with your new merch? Who do we need to look up to and say, stop putting Skye in danger?
Those are the versus
Yeah,
series.
we really liked the idea of me going against all these different animals or creatures. So we
The
worked with
shark one was a really hot
we worked
seller,
with
actually.
Joey Hernandez, an artist who does a very cool comic book type of vibed art, and he just killed it with some of these ones. We've done the bear and the tiger and the shark so far, and we even have a spider one. So yeah, it is kind of a fun theme that we're going along the lines of me battling all these different kind of giant animals.
So he's a friend and he confronted you with all those risks. So that's not even an enemy that's trying to kill you on t-shirts. Dangerous,
All
dangerous.
in good fun.
Yeah. Um, I know that you guys are a great DIY, not DIY, DIY band, and you like doing a lot of things by yourself. I was wondering, was there anything left for you to learn a new DIY skill that you've mastered during lockdown? I know a lot of people started doing banana breads, so that was a big thing. Is there anything specific, any new skill that you've gained over the last year?
Matt got himself a tattoo set and started tattooing himself.
I've seen
Yeah.
that.
I started tattooing my leg, and I practiced a lot for a while. I've been really busy with the band for the past couple months since we started releasing all the videos and stuff. So I haven't been able to sit down. I was just saying that to Skye. I was like, I haven't tattooed myself in like 2 months. I'm like, man, I got to get back to this thing because I was really killing it. I did one on my brother. It looked good. It's a fun hobby.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not mastered though. Like it's gonna be quite. Even in the video making, we're always learning something right now. In recording, we're always like, oh, we could do this and it'll sound better. Or I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if
But
I ever want to.
it was a fun project for a while. Matt was really into it, and I was really into I got into like
Candle
molding
making, yeah. Skye was making
molds. I was
candles.
making molds and then candles. So that's my new hobby I learned was
Her new hobby
silicone
made us a little
molds.
bit of money. I just spent money making disastrous art on my leg.
Well, one day maybe a fan will want to get you to ink them. Who
I do
knows?
actually get a bunch of requests already, and I think it's crazy that people even bother at requesting when they've like I've done 6 or 7 tattoos and I don't know what I'm doing, and people are like, "Oh, do that on me." I'm like, "Okay." As soon as lockdown done, I've got a big list of people that I can practice on.
So, as I said, I've already seen some of those new skills online. You've definitely shared some of your tattoos. Your fans, they came up with a new rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. So you can confront that you were so locked up and stressed out with living in that church for so long that you started and you missed going on tours for so long that you started having home mosh pits. Is that true?
I don't know who came up
I
with
don't know
that.
who found this
I
rumor.
don't think we've had any home mosh pits. I mean,
No?
that's a weird rumor, but no, I mean, we like to dance at the house.
Yeah.
Skye spends some time dancing sometimes and loving the music. We're into the music like crazy, but I don't think that there's been any slam dancing or moshing
Yeah.
in here. Like no smashing our shit, you know?
Okay, so that's not happening.
No,
And
but it sounds
something
like a
more
fun
real
party.
Yeah. You should try it tonight, Matt.
and something more relatable to the album. As we said, it's called Initiation. There's something about gangs as well in Sumo City, in Cyco City. So I think your fans were a bit surprised because you're all about spreading the love. There's even a love song in the album. So they are expecting some sort of a sumo, the Cyco gang romantic love video to come next. Is that true?
Well, that's a little bit of what our first song, Love You Wrong, is all about. Like you said, it's a love song on the record. And we did a music video with that, with 2 characters, one from the Assassiners, who's a Terranaut skull character, who my character Glory falls for. And it ends in disaster, but it's a Romeo and Juliet story of 2 lovers from 2 different gangs.
So there's not going to be some sort of a video wrap up of everyone just singing Kumbaya next to the train station.
No,
No,
probably not. No.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing half the time, man. We just come up with
It's
weird ideas about these characters that Skye has, and she just runs with them, and I just follow
it
along.
was a little unfortunate in COVID. I mentioned online that my original 2 videos, Love You Wrong and Run with the Giants, before COVID hit, we were able to have a lot more friends involved and have like full fleshed out like groups of people kind of battling out. But during COVID, making the videos, we've had to scale back a lot and make all the ideas kind of self-contained in our house. So we're not able to invite as many people in. So I'm like, how do I still create this, you know, different clubs and factions with nobody to be in the club with me? It's just me. So I've kind of taken it on and its own journey, which is like the different characters that live with inside me. And that's what I've kind of shown a little bit, but I have dropped some Easter eggs throughout the last few videos, and it ties in with our album book that we have for sale as well. So, and our USBs, there's little clues on our USBs as well. So once the fans really get all their pre-orders and they start digging in, they'll start figuring out more about this crazy idea I had.
As I said, Initiation is out May 7th. I've already enjoyed it for the last couple of days, and I cannot wait to just see you perform it, just rock it on a stage, and ask you some more questions. So I'll let you go in just a second. Is there anything else that you want to add to fans and listeners before we say goodbye?
Well, just if anyone's listening, thank you guys so much for wanting to pay attention to our band and being interested.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
It's nice to see you again, man.
And if anyone is interested in getting the record, check out sumocyco.com or Napalm Records, get your copy. And you can also follow us on our socials, which is Sumo Cyco, SUMOCYCO.
Matt and Skye, Sumo Cyco, again, it's been a pleasure. I miss you so much. So I'll save a few more for when I see you on a stage, which I really hope will be very, very soon. Have a great release.
Subscribe. Subscribe.